Rich man fragrances that are less than 50 bucks, an oxymoron. It's possible and it's real. Let's go. What's going on, guys? My name's Neeb. Welcome back to AROMATIX. Today we're gonna be diving into what seems like an oxymoron, smelling rich when you don't actually have to be. Fortunately enough, we live in an era where it's 100% possible, and I'm very happy to be able to share that with you. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button because we're always putting on game for cheap fragrances that do not smell cheap. And that's, for the most part, only fragrances that I talk about, but in this specific scenario, these actually smell like rich man vibes. So let's go ahead and get started. How do you define that? That's up to you. For me personally, it comes with a certain level of sophistication, elegance, and even maybe classic vibes. We'll get into it as we discuss each one of those. Starting off with something that's for around 40 bucks and really new. It's called Atik by Nusuk. You don't have to be able to pronounce these to grab them. I'm telling you, bro, just grab it and you'll smell almost identical to Xerjoff Naxos. This has a classic style of barbershop-y lavender in the backbone. And if you're wondering why the barbershop-y mentioned, well, back in the day, especially for shaving cream, they used to use essential oils as lavender in those foams. And so that's why they reference heavy or dominant lavender fragrances as barbershop-y. There's a little bit more to that with like oak moss, etc. But for the most part, that's all you need to know for this. Take that, envelop it in honey, and also in tobacco, and you end up with something that smells pretty damn sophisticated and expensive. This is really close, I would say about 90% close, but what really shines is the fact that this is a $50 or less fragrance, and this is $300 fragrance, and this smells just as expensive. So although you might not have exactly the identical fragrance, you do still have a fragrance that smells pretty expensive. It's got rich man vibes written all over it. And if you're looking for the best season for that, it's going to be during the spring and the fall time. You can carry it into even the winter time. Next one comes from a house that doesn't do really cheap cheapies. They actually have what I think is a higher tier in the Middle Eastern realm of fragrances, Swiss Arabian's Tobacco 01. This is a warm ambery tobacco with some spice. It has a very sophisticated gentleman style of scent profile that's slightly vanillic as it dries down. If you like fragrances like Side Effect, etc., then you're going to love this. And it's definitely not a clone of Side Effect, but it is treading in certain aspects of that fragrance. It has some elements. The tobacco, the spice, it's not nearly as boozy, but it is very sophisticated and sexy. A lot more wearable. I find that with Side Effect, I can't wear it anywhere other than like the winter time, maybe during the fall, but this one spring, fall, winter, and it's super safe for indoors as well, while still performing. What you will smell like is expensive. That's Swiss Arabian's Tobacco 01. Next one is by Armaf. It's called Club de Nuit Precious. This is a glazed pineapple with oak moss and caramel, maybe some white floral inclusion as well, but it's very glazed, soft, sophisticated, but still long lasting and projecting as fudge. It definitely is a clone, this fragrance at least, of Aventus Absolute. And it's not necessarily going to be anything that's exact per se, but it does, however, get one of the closest ones. I feel that this one has a bit more of the glaze vibe to it, and the collar just came off, but the fragrance still smells outstanding. It has a little bit more of a glaze vibe to it, and it definitely outperforms Absolute Aventus. What I find the difference for this from the actual Absolute Aventus is that this one has what seems like a bit more of the pepper vibe or the licorice vibe versus this where it has more of the glazed vibe. So enough glazing about this. It's a damn good fragrance that will smell expensive. In fact, my experience while wearing this was to the gym the first day, and even the guy who smelled me was like, you smell really good, but it smells like it should be like higher end. I swear to God. And I felt the same exact way. So that was the last time I wore it to the gym, but it absolutely smells extremely expensive. Next one on this list is called Khedlej Island Dreams. This has notes of musks, ginger, and citruses. It's a very light, airy, diffusive, very energetic at the same time, but also unisex. The fragrance that this one smells like is Symphony. It does have a slight difference, but when you factor in the price points, 600 bucks versus 50, it absolutely makes it worth it, and it does still smell pretty damn expensive. One of the differences that I would personally highlight in this versus Symphony is gonna be this green style of undertone. I wouldn't necessarily say this is any more than like 85%, but even considering the fact of the price point differences, that's very respectable. The takeaway though is that it doesn't smell cheap whatsoever. You don't wanna spray this on more than about 7 times because then it will start to compromise the scent profile, at least in my experience. So staying around 6 sprays or less you will have a fragrance that smells extremely expensive and closer to that $600 mark. Next one is Hawas Fire. My experience with this went from low to upwards of medium, eventually to high. I went to a car meet and one of my boys smelled amazing. And when I asked him what he was wearing, it was this fragrance. So I went back to revisit this about a month and a half later from first initially grabbing it. And you guys could see that I was spraying the shiz out of this. I mean, I have a lot of fragrances and it performs. So when I first got it, it must have been just straight out of the factory because I wasn't getting more than like 4 hours tops. But now this shit lasts all day. And it smells a lot like Qissa's Imperial Valley, one of the best ones, man. But it also has this candied vibe in the dry down. As it dries down, that Imperial Valley doesn't. Fresher, more aromatic take on the typical oud fragrances. It's not a freshie, but it is something that's easier to wear, lighter than most oud fragrances. It's like the Sauvage of the Middle East. Bro, this has went from like a 7.2 because of performance to like a 9.5, almost a 10 out of 10. I don't want to hit that mark yet. I really have to. I have to rock this one quite a bit more, especially to get a 10. It's, wow, that's good. Next one is called Liquid Brune. Liquid Brune took so many people by storm because it was, during its time, one of the, like, it set the standards for how close these dupes can get. In fact, this one got better. Orange flower, spice, and vanilla. It smells soft, sophisticated, sexy, masculine. It smells like Altair. $350 and it still won't smell as good as this. Yes, this one smells better. Longevity for me has been the entire day, and usually I'm gonna define the entire day by 8 hours. Moving on. This right here is not a safe blind buy, but it is insane. Exotic, oriental, spiced, incensey, salty, citrusy. What's next? The glaze is real. If there were sack under this, I'd probably tap them. Nutsack! But that's how much I love this fragrance, you guys. I wore this while traveling to and from Dubai for like the last, I would say, 2 trips. It's so good. It reminds me of like Abdul Samad al-Qureshi's Qureshi blend, yeah? Meets Wiley Elixir, meets Oud Markuja. Unisex, you have been warned. I've spoken about this way more than enough times. I don't want to keep going into it. قصة نجاح ندوي. Salty, citrus, very intense in the raunch and the incense. You've been warned. Moving on to the next one. Like we said, you know, a lot of refinement comes with barbershop-y scents. But if we modernize it, we add some white florals, we energize it with some ginger, and then some woods and vanillas as it dries down, it modernizes with a lot of those notes that are being used consistently throughout time, and it's been designed to be used consistently throughout time, giving you the cream of the crop when it comes to the notes, the accords, the best aspects of barbershop-y, and also the highest performance. This is called Magnetic by myself and French Avenue, and this is designed not only for that, but also to be a compliment magnet. You can wear this everywhere, anywhere, all day, every day. It's a 32% concentration fragrance. It'll last the entire day. The notes of this one includes the heart of orange flower, also the dry down of some ambers, vanilla, and sandalwood, and at the top, a blast of citruses, and even some ginger to liven things up. Around all of this, you'll find some notes like cardamom spice, and really give it some element of sexy, mysterious. It smells like you got your clothes from the dry cleaner. I was gonna say from the dryer, but to be honest, it smells even higher quality than that. Last but not least, it smells like an expensive fragrance called City of Stars. And that smells like the nighttime on the beach. You've just, you know, recovered from the sunburn. You put on some aloe vera. You can smell this roasted, I don't want to say skin accord. Holy shit, who wants to smell like, well, I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. That's kind of what it smells like. This salty skin layer, right? When you're on the beach and you can smell like the beach, the salt water, maybe some citrus from a juice. This is called Mason de Arabi Marine Blue. It's got TR flower, some citruses, and as it dries down into this musky and creamy scent. Fresh, salty, and cozy. That's the way I would describe this fragrance. It absolutely smells the closest to City of Stars, and the quality is next level. Longevity for this one is also longer lasting, and the TR flower that's in the middle of this fragrance is responsible for giving that lotion vibe. It is more increased in this one compared to City of Stars, giving me personally more longevity than even City of Stars. And last but not least, this would not be a complete video without the richest smelling men's fragrance of all time, but something even better. Club de Nuit Straight. I'm not even gonna go into like too many descriptors, but pineapple and woods. It smells like Wolf on Wall Street. It smells like a CEO executive, and it absolutely smells better than the current day Aventus. Worth every penny. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. My name is Neeb. Let me know down in the comment section what cheap fragrance, what's your oxymoron fragrance basically? What cheap Middle Eastern fragrance do you have in your collection that makes you smell rich every time? And how do you guys feel about it? Did you start once upon a time thinking that it was never possible and you're still one of those who thinks it's not possible? Or are you one of the opposite? Do you believe now, after maybe amassing a certain level of collection? What was the fragrance, if so, that made you change your belief? My name is Deep. Thank you for tuning back in AROMATIX. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.